Everybody, thanks for joining us. This is going to be an exciting day. I'm with the weirdest dude I know, Nick Shivers, wearing a red bandana like he's Prison Mike right now, or some sort of pirate theme.
Dude, I'm a pirate, not a prisoner. Come on. Look at the flag.
I'm just rather confused. I don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it, but I'm glad you're doing it.
My wife's not here, Eric, so I do all kind. When my wife's not here, I do things that I would traditionally do, but she keeps me from not doing them.
You play dress up. That's great. Nick, walk us through who you are and how we got here today.
Well, Nick Shivers from Portland, Oregon. You know, I'm a half a century old. Just turned that a while ago. Never thought I would make it to this ripe old age. I still behave like a child, as you can see. I have a real estate company out here. I have a iBuyer company, and I have a awesome, phenomenal movement called Sell a Home, Save a Child that I co-founded with this other weird dude called Erik. So that's what I do. And I'm a dad and a friend and man, all kinds of other crazy things that I can't talk
about. Well, Nick Shivers, you are a brother to me. Sometimes the brother I never wanted. Most of the time, the brother I love and adore. I want to take people back. And by the way, those of you that don't know me, my name's Erik Hatch with Hatch Realty and Hatch Coaching out of Fargo, North Dakota. Do a lot of things in the real estate world, including copying some things Nick does, and that is stuff like with the iBuyer movement and mastering that. And then he and I just have an affinity for loving on kids that are in need and trying to help them out in the best sort of way. So I want to take you all back. This would have been, and I think 2013 or 2014, something like that, when I met you for the first time, Nick. I used to be with Keller Williams. You're still with Keller Williams, and we were in Austin, Texas. And I literally remember like hearing the myth of this guy named Nick Shivers. He's one of the top real estate team leaders in the country. And so you were like iconic even in that sense. And I was just this new up and comer. And I'm like, that's that Nick Shivers guy. And I'd heard about you because I was talking to people about, I had wanted to start an orphanage. God put it on my heart in 2010 that I needed to start an orphanage of some sort to help kids out. And wouldn't you know it, I had heard rumors of this weirdo in Oregon that was doing something like that. What were you doing at that time, Nick?
You know, at that time, because the story starts, how I got even involved was a Jimmy Buffett song, a bottle of rum, and a napkin for a business plan. And so I was those three things, and little thing, do not do that, because that is a bad business plan. So I tried to start a resort in Nicaragua back in 2004, 2005. It failed miserably, but I got to see some stuff that when I first saw it, I never wanted to see it. I didn't want to see the horrible things that were happening in a garbage dump called La Chureca. And based off that experience of La Chureca, it kind of changed my life. For looking down the road, it changed it for better, for sure. And that's how it got. That really is how I got involved in helping kids.
So, Nick, what did you see in the garbage dump?
So I met a lady by the name of Gloria Cicada, and she's not even a lady. She's kind of a bad to the bone angel, like this Harley Davidson type angel. She's this Latina lady that is just, oh man, you do not mess with Gloria. And I met Gloria, and she took me and my wife and my buddy and his wife through the dump. And think about the gates of hell is while you're driving through La Chureca with burning tires, young men sniffing glue. And then, and you're seeing it through your all senses. You can hear it, the trucks, the garbage trucks, you can smell it through the burning tires and the garbage and the humidity, and all the crows and buzzards flying around, almost blocking out the sun. And then and then Gloria had told us, and Eric, I think you can, when it's a big label, you know, when you have this big label, prostitution of young children. Well, until you talk to those kids or see them, it doesn't really become real. You know, any big label like racism or you know, poverty, until you hold the people, talk to them, it doesn't become real. And that day it became real for me, because I saw little girls getting into garbage dump trucks in order for their family to get the first pick of the litter, and they had to sell their bodies in order for that to happen.
And you're talking like 9-10-year-old girls, right?
Yeah, yes, young, very, very, very young. And, you know, I wish I could say I wanted to be the hero, but I really didn't. I just wanted to leave. I just didn't want to see it anymore. And you know, luckily a friend said, you know, we can leave, but you can't, they can't. So that's how it started, my friend.
And so this was 2004, 2005. You see some pretty incredible things, and then you go back to regular life. That's what happens to a lot of us, is we're out and we do short-term missions. Yours wasn't even an intended short-term mission. You were there trying to start a resort and drink some rum, and and then you that's right. And you saw some things and you went back to your regular business world. How did you change, and what had changed in your perspective?
Well, seeing that crushed my heart. I had young kids at probably about that age. I think they were like 8 and 6. And it totally like crushed my heart. I was depressed. I really just, like I said, I want to get on the plane. But when I got back, I just, I knew that my life had changed, and I had a new why of why I needed to be successful, because, you know, I kind of followed the world pattern of what a man was. I always wanted to be tough, so I used to fight a lot. And then it moved to, I had to be really good with the ladies, and then I needed to be rich. And that all crumbled the day I went through that garbage dump, and I realized, you know, none of that matters unless we can make a small difference. And so from that day forward, my own individual real estate team started, teamed up with an organization called Forward Edge International to get those girls out of that garbage dump. And fast forward today, that's Via Esperanza, the Village of Hope. 56 girls taken out of there, educated, given knowledge, given grace, given hope and opportunity. And so those girls are thriving in Nicaragua, which is not very easy to thrive in, even with a lot of good things.
Pretty amazing to see how it's come to be. And those that are watching either live or those that are watching a replay of this on YouTube or a link that we forwarded you, I'm amazed, Nick, at how you took that feeling that's inside of us and you actually put action behind it. Because there are countless times in my life when I've been like, I got to do something. And then I lose that like oomph, and that oomph dissipates day after day after day. Yeah. And as we record this, we're in the middle of COVID, where most people aren't doing much of anything in terms of outreach and helping other people out. And I think even listening to you talk, Nick, I've forgotten how good it feels to take care of other people. Like I've lost sight of it. Like I'm a guy that loves nonprofits and giving back and all that, and I've forgotten how good it feels. Like how do you maintain that on a daily or weekly or monthly basis in your own world?
Die daily. I think, you know, it's, and especially Eric, with what's going on right now, it's really easy to get into the labeling game. Eric's this, Nick's that, Susie's this, Susie's that, and there's the desensitize of labeling of people, and it gets down to relationships. And it's me making sure that when my friend John from Haiti FaceTimes me, and that's the beauty about technology, is that I can maintain those relationships, and me and John can talk about his struggles in Haiti, and where I can get inspiration. I'm like, you know, even though things aren't, if you look at what's going on in our world right now, it's easy to get like, oh gosh, you can't go anywhere. People don't like each other. People are angry. And then picking up a FaceTime message from my friend John in Haiti that John doesn't know if he's going to get to eat the next day. He has a new baby that's coming, and John doesn't really know for sure if his wife can even go to the hospital. And but you know what? John has a big smile on his face, and he believes that God's going to take care of him. And wow, what an inspiration! What an inspiration! And I boil it down to relationships. It's not a one-time thing. If Nick would have went to Nicaragua, saw that, and never went back, and never got to hold one of the babies that were born in the dump, or got to walk while these young girls got dresses for the first time. I remember the first time I really met all the girls, me and my wife took them to, because it was their, I think it was Christmas. And me and Jonna got to go to a little shop where all these little girls, there was like 12 of them at the time, got to pick dresses. And trust me, Erik, I have no patience for any of that, because I mean, look at the way I just pick it. And it was like a 4-hour ordeal, but I was just, it's about relationships and knowing that it's really hard to turn your back when labels become people.
Yeah, that's fiercely accurate, Nick. And so it was that time down in Austin, Texas, when I saw this guy named Nick Shivers sitting a few chairs away from me, and I had been messaging you, and we ended up doing lunch at a sports bar and connecting, and I started to ask you question after question of like, how are you building an orphanage? And you're like, I'm not really building an orphanage. I'm trusting a group that's put people on the ground that are actually there. And I had looked into building an orphanage, and it was just so tricky and complicated. And really, my heart was to say I wanted to help kids. My ego said I should build an orphanage, and so when I got my heart and my head in the right places, it said, well, let's partner together. And so you and I formed a kinship right away of two weirdos who had successful businesses, and we wanted to do something about it. And so what happened was my wife and I, as well as a couple of our friends, we got on a plane and went out to Portland because we wanted to learn more about Forward Edge, and I wanted to learn about more about how you were doing it. And so we started to talk and dream, right? And I think over a couple of cocktails, we came up with the name Sell a Home, Save a Child. And we're like, boy, that sure is long, but hopefully it sticks. Yeah. and we started this movement that was like 5 years ago. Yeah. And I think by the end of this year, we'll pass the $2 million mark of money that we've raised between you and me, and events that we've done and people that we've empowered. And there's a lot of people maybe watching this, or maybe that haven't yet, that give regularly to Sell a Home, Save a Child. So that's what we've done in a nutshell. But my guess is somebody's watching this right now because they're saying, I have a passion. Maybe it's kids like you and I have, or I have a passion for something else, and they want to actually launch it and have their business be infused with purpose. Right. How does somebody do that, Nick?
Well, the first thing I think we have to, like you hit it on the head. A lot of people want to look good, and actually doing good is a pain in the ass. I apologize for the cussing.
Oh my gosh, that is the biggest truth bomb that you could give. Yeah.
So the key is this, and again, it's we have to die to ourselves every day, because again, especially in business, we can get about this and about that. And I remember when me and you were talking, I wanted to be real careful. I was talking to you. I talked to another buddy of mine named Jeff Edmondson, and I was like, because I wasn't, for forever, I never even talked about, what we were doing in Nicaragua. But, I got wise wisdom, and I haven't done that a lot in my life, but I got wise wisdom, and I'm like, okay, how do we make sure that it's about the kids and not about, hey, look at what me and Erik are doing. Woo-hoo, we're the best, we're the best. And you got to be real careful. Yeah. You got to be real careful, because you can go, yeah, look what we did. So I don't even know what the question was that you asked, but I think, what was the question you asked, Eric? I can't even, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I simply asked, like, how does somebody get started?
Okay.
Like, how do you take your passion and actually find a track to activate it?
Okay. The first thing that you need to do is make sure you know what Mother Teresa says. That if you can't help them all, help one, and you start there. Okay. We did not start Sell a Home, Save a Child out of the gate. We did what we could do, and whether it was $25 or $10,000, it makes a difference. And it's called action. It's called, like in anything. If you have a passion for kids, if you have a passion for youth, inner city youth, whatever that passion is on your heart, just do something. And if you're like, oh, I think what happens is people get like, I don't know what to do, okay? Or, oh man, I really got to make this big difference. And because maybe they don't see instant results, they stop doing it. And in today's world, I think we have to take self-responsibility. It's our duty to do something for someone and try to do something for someone on a daily basis. And if we do that, I believe slowly but surely your little sphere gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the one thing, like, I admire about you, Eric, is, man, you are a guy that you take massive action, and most of the time you don't know what you're doing. I can attend to that.
Yeah,
but
very true.
You take such massive action that you create incredible results. Maybe it's 1 out of the 10 action steps that you take, but guess what? The guy that is waiting for perfection, that never takes any action, they aren't doing anything. So please, whatever it is in your own sphere, take action. Just do something.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick, I love what you said there, and not because you called me out on a guy that messes up a lot, but because really it's about not sitting idly by and waiting for that magic pill to come. I would add to it too is, yes, identify your passion. It can be pets, it can be people, it can be your environment, all those things, whatever you're passionate about. Like, a business feels empty if there's not a clarity of a passion behind it. If our life in real estate is about selling houses and making money, that feels miserable to me. But if our businesses are about saving kids and impacting lives, like, that's a tremendous business model. And I know that you have taken your business and literally you have attached saving kids to your mission. What does that look like, Nick?
Well, again, everything about our organization is about the why behind it. And I just was talking to a young man that was thinking about getting into real estate. And I just said, here is why I believe we have success. We hire to it, we train to it. Our agents, I've had a lot of really, really awesome agents that really wasn't their philosophy, and they're no longer on my team because of it. Just because that's what it's about. If you're not a giver on our team, and again, it's not, we're always a giver.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not always a giver. But that is a fundamental value that you obtain. And I believe, especially in today's world of real estate, since probably majority of people are on this call that are real estate agents, there is so much saying that you don't need an agent, iBuyer this, technology that. Well, if you want to build a tribe of people, you find some sort of mission that people can get behind, and it doesn't really matter that they can go out and maybe get a little bit cheaper, but if there's something big behind it, that makes people, the best feeling in the world is to help others. If you've never done it, okay, and for a long time, I was a selfish man, and I'm still selfish. But the fact is, I get more joy when I can say, maybe I made just a tiny little bit of difference. And the cool thing is, when you do that, I get way more back from those kids, from my friend John, than I could ever give.
Yeah. I'm reminded of the conversation you had with our mutual friend, Fan. Fan Bartson is a buddy of mine from Fargo. I do breakfast with him weekly, and he's one of my closest confidants. And Fan runs an outreach called Unseen that literally empowers people to fight human trafficking all over the world, the people that are boots on the ground. And they're hurting for money like any nonprofit is, especially through COVID and that sorts. And you and him had a call and you're like, hey, let's talk to my team. And you challenged your team to give as well. And that was, for me, I think that sign of sometimes people just need an invitation.
Right.
And you invited your team, you challenged them because you knew you were like-minded. You knew that we were built to serve and to give, and that's when we feel best. And you challenged your team with Fan, and you raised tens of thousands of dollars with your team in like one brief moment, because that is one of the most eye-opening things that comes to me, is that most people just want an invitation and they want to be included, but they're not going to be diligent enough to go and find that opportunity, because we simply are in our regular day-to-day. We have the heart to give, we have the desire to give, but we don't frankly know how to do it. It in fact is why we created Sell a Home, Save a Child, is because you and I looked at each other and we said, we can't be the only two people in this industry out of 1.5 million realtors that wants to help kids. Right. Let's just make it so easy for people to give. Let's build a platform that the Joe Blows of the real estate world, and they don't even have to be realtors, but we want them to give through that. And Nick, I was on a podcast yesterday, a real estate investing podcast. And one of the last questions they asked is, what's your favorite way to give back and make a difference? And I told them about Sell a Home, Save a Child. And it was like, oh, like, you mean I could be and should be building into my business a way to give back? And it was like this light bulb went off of like, it was simply a blind spot that they had. Again, because they have a desire to give, but it isn't the natural thing. We're naturally selfish. And yet we're designed, it says in Ephesians 2:10, that we are God's handiwork, designed in his image to do good works that he's already set aside for us to do. Like, that's our purpose in life, is to do good. And our businesses can have that purpose as well. We just have to find that actionable item or those steps to take in order to make this come alive.
Right. And Erik, it's, you know, because that day that we did that, I had one of my agents, he was like, really like, he was like, dude, I can't give right now. And he was like, he goes, I felt uncomfortable. And I'm like, good. And it's all right to feel a little uncomfortable. At this point in time, guess what? You can't give, but you can give time to somebody. And this guy actually does that a lot. He gives his time. I go, it's not about the money. It's about taking action and doing something, whether it's time, whether it's money. And I think it's real easy in the real estate world to let because we can be doing business, we can be doing deals all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. And I think you have to slow down long enough to say, you know, there are real concerns. There are real needs. And we're seeing some of that here in our own country. Okay, what can we do today to make a difference? And even if it's just a conversation or a smile, do something, please.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that we did that I think was smart is, you know, I had looked at starting an orphanage, and then I'm like, that's really hard. And so then we said, do we start our own 501c3? Do we start our own nonprofit? That was a lot of work. Yep. And we want to do what we're best at, and we're best at leading teams and selling houses. And we just need to stay in those lanes, frankly, and do what we're best at. And then we're good at BSing with other realtors. And so like, let's just do that. And so we found an organization that allowed us to let our Sell a Home, Save a Child entity exist, and we just simply use that as, we use Sell a Home, Save a Child as the name, but really it's Forward Edge International.
Right.
And if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, how do I go about doing something like this? Starting a nonprofit or building something from scratch takes so much work. Like, we found somebody that we liked, trusted, and vetted, and then we said, okay, that's it. And like, it was so easy because we were literally up and running overnight. And so I want to give a few actionable steps here. Number one is find your passion. Number two would be devise a plan of what you're going to do. You can give, we, when we first started this, we gave on every transaction, both the company and the agents. We would have them figure out, like, I'm going to give, as a company, we gave $50 per transaction. If we do 600 transactions, that's 30 grand. So that's a lot of money. Or we had agents choose to give as little as $1, but we were able to say that everybody gives to this place. And some give upwards of $50 or $100 per transaction. So by the end of the year, it ends up being a ton of money that we can give. And so we set it within our ecosystem. We got all of our team members to buy in to say we're going to give simply because it's important to the fiber of who we're going to be. Even though giving is not natural, and some people say, I'll give on my own accord, we made the rule and we said, if you're going to work here, you're going to give to Sell a Home, Save a Child. And now we do mission trips as well. We, for 4 years now, and you've been doing it for even longer, we send people to Nicaragua or Haiti to go in to serve. And my goodness, here's the piece that we haven't talked about yet, Nick, and that is the talent magnet that this passion of ours has created. I know that we talk about being surrounded by like-minded people, and one of my favorite people in my world, his name is Tyler. And Tyler, for 4 years now, has gone to Nicaragua.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's like talking about moving his family down to Nicaragua because he wants to serve and do ministry full time while still selling real estate in Fargo, North Dakota. And so we'll find a way. And we just celebrated Tyler's 5-year hatchiversary of his time with us here. And yeah, I put my name on everything I got, even the hatchiversary. And after 5 years of being with us, I had him on my radio show that I recorded yesterday. And we talked about Sell a Home, Save a Child and what it means. And I asked him, I said, you came from a ministerial background. He was working on Cru, Campus Crusade for Christ. And he was in Eastern Europe, and he had plans to go back to Eastern Europe with his fiance. But I interviewed him and his fiance at the same time. And we talked about what our company meant, the purpose of our company. Now, Tyler is 30 years old now. He's going to make, in Fargo, North Dakota, $300,000 this year from selling real estate, right? His wife now gets to stay at home. He's about to welcome his third kid into the world like next week. And like, his world has transformed. And he now uses his business as his ministry, from the people that he leads to the folks that he serves overseas. And I asked him simply, I said, what made you choose to work in our world? And he said to me, I saw your heart and I knew what mattered to you, and I wanted to be a part of that. And you want to talk about building a culture and an ecosystem. This isn't about me. This is just about me not hiding who God made me to be and infusing passion into my business. And Nick, I know you have stories like that too.
You know, I'm going to tell you one, and I know his name, but I can't. It's your bald buddy that moved to Seattle.
Pete, yep.
So I was on, I think, the trip with your first team that ever went to Nicaragua. Yep. So I was down there, and Pete told me how he was ticked off at you because you told him that he had to give, and he was like, "The hell with that! I can't. This guy's trying to make me give to something, and I don't know." So now, fast forward, Pete is like the guy. He's like, "Sell a home, save a child. I love it. I love it. I love it." It was the transformation.
Pete's not in real estate anymore.
I know.
Pete works at he works in Seattle now, moved out of Fargo, and he's been on every single trip that we've done. We can't uninvite him anymore because he's there.
Right. And I think what a driver when people really find that why behind what they do, it stops becoming the grind. Mm-hmm. And it's a purpose. I need to make sure that I continue to show my culture. I need to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, because now it's not just about you. It's about, hey, everything that I do, if I do something and I screw something up, there is a a consequence. I have an example that I felt terrible about. And like I said, I failed miserably. There was this agent here locally that tried to steal a deal from one of my clients or one of my agents. And I got on the phone and he tried to talk about something that I didn't think was completely appropriate. And I completely lost my mind, dropped some F-bombs. And then afterwards I was just like, that is not okay. That is not okay. Because again, I have a movement. I have a culture that basically one of my agents, the agent that he tried to snake the deal out was right there. And I had to apologize. I go, you know what? That is not okay. Because there's something bigger about this organization. And that was not shining an appropriate light back on this organization. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. I want to highlight where we've been, and we just have a couple more places to go, I think, before we wrap. Hopefully we've shown people some actionable steps that they can take. Obviously, pick something you're passionate about, take action. Don't just sit idly by. Don't just wait for the magical, perfect time to come, and instead do something. Align with somebody who maybe is already doing it. Empower your team to jump in, to do more, to be more, to give more, to have more. So those are some of the actionable steps. It obviously works as a massive talent recruiter when you're super clear on this passion that you have. Nick, you've used this as a way to defend a higher commission.
My agents.
Share that.
My little rock star, Amy Oliver. She Sell a Home, Save a Child is her thing. And I remember she told us, she came back one day, and remember, we didn't start it to help our business, but the fact is it is helping our business.
Yep.
And she said,
it's just a great byproduct of, right?
Yep. So she said, I got a great story. So she was interviewing for a listing. She got it. And she said at the end, the wife was like, and the husband, this is awesome. We want to work with you. And the husband goes, you know what, Amy? The other agent said that they could do it for 5% and you're charging 6.5%. And the wife looked at the husband. She goes, don't you even think about it. These people are helping kids. And I thought that was pretty great because it was the truth. And it's do you think that person, after we do a great job for them, will ever go anywhere else when they know what is happening? And you got to talk about it. You got to explain what it is that they're actually contributing to and be crystal clear on that, and don't hide it and don't be afraid of it. And, it's a beautiful thing.
You know, in our closing room at Hatch Realty, we do, at least before COVID, we did all of our closings on our own office space. In the closing room, we have these like 25-inch beautiful metal pictures of our team members loving on kids down in Nicaragua and Haiti. And it's the perfect chance when people are in this room for the first time to say, I want you to know that because you chose to work with us, as a reminder, some of our proceeds are going to go to benefit the kids that you see on the wall right there. And I want you to know that these kids have gone through hell and back, and we get a chance now to love them where they're at. And this isn't about what we're doing, but it's about what you are doing because you trusted us with your business. And it's oftentimes met with tears. We then, they'll say, tell me more about it. Hopefully it leads to them researching something to do, because again, I want to end with what I covered earlier. And that is, I think most people have a desire to do good. They just simply need an invitation and a roadmap. Wow. And it's our opportunity and privilege as business owners, as leaders, as realtors, to do something about this and not just sit with a heart to do good, but our action, because our words are who we want to be, but our actions are who we actually are right now. And I need to take more action to figure out who I'm going to be. And I got to not sit idly by. And so, Nick, what are your final thoughts? I do want to point people to this before we get close to wrapping. If Sell a Home, Save a Child sounds like your jam and you don't want to go recreate the wheel, guess what? You can get all the credit for it because it's just local and it's your own thing. We built it so that you can own it, have it, and represent it. And you can say, I'm a part of this movement that helps to save kids. Go to sellahomesaveachild.org. You can sign up, figure out how you can get involved in what that looks like and how we'll give you marketing materials and other things to set you up for great success. If not, sell a home, save a child. Please find something, do something, act on something, but put passion in your business.
Absolutely. Final thoughts is this, is I think in life, action is everything. So I'm gonna challenge anybody that's listening to this, is no matter how little it is, you take action. And a little challenge to anybody that's listening: if you go to sellahomesaveachild.org and do a one-time donation /hatch talk, we'll my team and I will match up to, I'm going to say 10 G's. If we get somebody that wants to get 10 grand, we'll match it from this talk today. Action. Okay. And it's not, oh, look at these great. No, it's just take action, because when you throw, it's like throwing that pebble in the lake. Okay. There's those ripples that you'll never see ever in your life, but it's a constant ripple, but you got to take action. And today's that day. You can set back, wait, and take action in that step. And then the next thing you'll do, you'll be taking all kinds of action in your business. And then you can end up like Erik Hatch. And it's a good thing to be.
Oh man, I'm always wondering what you're smoking before you get on these things, but it's good to have you here, Nick. And I can't wait to see some donations make their way in. And I'm going to hold you to that 10 grand, because I might go and put some money in there too and just have you pay up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It'll be great. Folks that are watching live, thanks for your time. Hopefully you pulled some nuggets of what you can do. If you're watching the recording of this and you want to reach out and ask some questions or get involved, man, we'd love to have you a part of this world. And if not, sell a home, save a child. I hope you find something to do. God bless you, Nick. I love you, dude. You're my brother. Folks tuning in, thanks for being here.
Always good to be here. Ciao.